Alright, let's get out of the way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment if you like. Tomo-chan's a girl, episode 4 started off with. So I know this is an anime about Tomo, but we're gonna put her aside because her friend needs some help. Jun's best friend, who's really annoying and kind of obnoxious, wants to ask out Tomo's best friend, and she's like, yeah, probably not. So she just ends up ignoring him, and he tells Jun, man, she doesn't fucking smile ever, huh? And he says, yeah, she smiles, but their idea of what she smiles like is two different things. And some random day, he goes over to her and says, hey, how about we start, and before he says date, she grabs a big-ass piece of tape and puts it on his fucking face. I mean, he shouldn't feel too bad because he's not the only one with tape on his face. The girl with the, wow, voice also has a piece of tape, but I can imagine why. She's really annoying. She really wants to be friends with her. I mean, the guy wasn't even trying to be that aggressive, but the other girl jumps like she's jumping off a volcano or something because it's about to explode. His friend tries to shoot a shot again, and she says, if you really want me to smile, then ask me out seriously. And he says, okay, but just know that that's when I'd smile because I reject you. That is some of the most fucked up shit I've heard. I'll only smile if I reject you? Come on. And literally after that, she goes and talks to Tomo, and she says, oh, I think he's thinking about more than just talking to you, Tomo. He's not just thinking about being your best friend, and then she smiles very creepily. But I can't tell if that's creepy or what Tomo does next, because she sees two girls hugging and she says, I want to do that. I'm a girl, so I want to be friendly with girls. But she's too masculine and too ripped to be acting like a girly girl. And her friend says, you could still hug me, but not right now because you're kind of weird. And she's like, oh man, then who do I hug? And you guessed it, the person that would need a hug is going to give her a hug, which is, hey! And it's almost like she's never hugged anyone, not even just girls, because she's grabbing her and smelling her and all that weird stuff. And who knows, maybe she does like girls, so what? But it could be wrong in this. Maybe they don't look at her like a girl and more like a teddy bear or something that you just hug. It feels really warm. Because I feel like I've said this many times in these videos, but in anime they never treat characters just as humans. They're more of animals or material stuff. But then Tomo goes tells her friend, I don't think I'm a fucking girl at all. And she says, well, that one's just built different, so. I don't know about you guys, but she has basically the same thing that that girl has, except she has a short haircut, so I don't know what she's talking about. Unless Tomo fucking smells, and that's a different story. So being fucking confused, she goes around and thinks about how if she's different, then other girls must be okay hugging too, right? And she goes and hugs these gangster girls that are just sitting out there. But I actually think these two girls have a crush on her because they start blushing and getting really embarrassed. And I'm thinking, well, if only Tomo knew. But it could be because Tomo called her pretty or beautiful. And looking the way she does, she probably doesn't get called that a lot. And then after that, lately around the school, her normal best friend is not her friend anymore. And it seems that the girl that's built different is not her friend. But I think it's working out because she's getting a ton of more hugs now. But clearly Tomo's upset because her best friend's not talking to her anymore. So the girl with the blonde hair and Tomo are spying on her. And she's trying to teach her how to be friends with her. She's one of one because when she's mad, she looks like basically the same thing, but you know your friends, you know you're the best friends when you could tell each other's expressions even though they look similar, like this. So everyone thinks that she's really dumb and she doesn't really get anything. She's quite intuitive and she does know what's going around her, and she says, I'm sorry for taking Tomo away from you. And I'm not the only surprised one, even the character's surprised because she looks pretty stupid. And she's very extreme because she hit her head on the table just to know that she feels bad. So after she has a conversation with her, she goes and tells Tomo that she's sorry and that she actually wouldn't mind hugging because she feels very lonely. And of course, because Tomo's kind of stupid, she gives her a bro hug instead of an actual hug. And it's just really awkward because she says, wow, she does have basketballs. And because she's jealous of them, she doesn't really want to hug anymore. And that gives her the greatest fucking idea in this world. She says, why don't you go hug Jun instead? And she says, maybe. And she goes and hugs him, and it's really freaking awkward. Because Tomo gives him a really big bear hug, and he pushes her back and says, hey, you can't do that anymore, we're not kids. And then she gets really furious and she says, but you do it all the time. And he says, when I do it, it's fine. But when you do it, it's not okay. Then she punches him really hard in the fucking face. Meanwhile, Tomo's friend is making another friend because the girl with the blonde hair is saying, how about if we become friends? I could be your number one friend too. Maybe. Speaking about not understanding each other, so Jun ends up being in her house and he says, what's up, bro? Because he doesn't see her as a girl, he thinks of her like a friend for some reason. Even though I think he likes her. And I know I said in the previous episodes that her mom's a really calm girl, but no, she's actually kind of crazy just like the rest of her family. And so Tomo makes him rice balls with sardines, and literally she just got rice, made it into a ball, and put the fish inside the rice ball, and didn't even cook the fish probably. But that doesn't bother him at all, because I guess he's had this before and he just eats it up. And I get the joke, the wife is able to beat up the really big, strong dad. I get it. So the really funny scene is when Tomo's friends are trying to make her look girly, and the girl with the blonde hair gives her her hairband and says, "Here, you can use this." And it does make her look girly because it has a little rose on the top. And then when she goes over there to eat lunch with June, he thinks it's really strange because she doesn't really look girly. So at the end, Tomo ends up beating a guy because they're trying to pick on some girls. And then a gang of guys are trying to beat up Tomo, but then June stops them before they end up hurting Tomo. And at the end, she says, "Wow, why do you have a bandage on your cheek?" "Oh, I just fell down." "You've been falling down since elementary school." And I was thinking, what a tough guy story, right? Falling down, fighting for women. That's cool. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Peace.